Here's your host, Dan Celia.
Welcome back to Financial Issues. I'm Dan Celia. It's great to be here. 866-300-9298. If you want to weigh in, you're welcome to do that. It is Friday. On Friday, we try to do a rapid fire Friday, we call it, where we are trying to take as many questions as we possibly can. So we will do that. Although we've been taking a lot of questions, we're going to try to get to them a little bit quicker. We're going to try to move through them a little bit faster. So if you want to queue your call up, that'll be great. We're going to start next segment. We'll get to the calls. We will stay with calls for the rest of the next hour and 45 minutes. 866-300-9298. If you would like to weigh in, if you have a financial question, I would ask you, since it's Friday, and we're going to try to get to as many, keep it as short and concise as possible, and then we'll move on. And again, it's 866-300-9298. So we'd love to hear from you. Let's see. Markets yesterday got clobbered. Dow down 175, just over 1%, 1.08%. NASDAQ down 24, the S&P down 16. That's not good news. And right now, it looks like the open is going to be more of the same. Investors still picking up selling in the pre-trade, in the pre-market open, kind of picking up where they left off yesterday. So it looks like that is going to continue right now. And so the open is not looking good. Apparently, you got China, Latin America, and company earnings. So those three things are the main three things, apparently, that are driving the market right now. I happen to believe there's also a little bit of a reality check going on, and that's got something to do with it as well. But right now, for all practical purposes, we know China, Latin America, and company earnings are not a good thing. And it's interesting because I've been talking about these company earnings. Everybody else is trying to put a happy face, reporting all the good earnings, reporting almost only the good earnings. But for all practical purposes, earnings have not been good this week. That's not going to be a good thing. Looks like gasoline prices are set to go up next month, according to some. The fact of the matter is, the average U.S. price for regular gasoline fell in 2013 from the year earlier, and that was very good news. 2013, we paid an average of $3.50 a gallon, and that was down from 2012 of $3.61. So we continue to see that move. We continue to see that move lower. Now, here's the problem. And right now, by the way, the daily average is $3.28. I was in Texas last week, and I was in West Texas, and I was looking at these gas prices. I saw one at $2.87. I was like, wow, I thought I had gone back in time. Now, you know, I'm here in Philadelphia. We haven't seen below $3. I don't remember the last time we saw $3 or below. So we're still hovering right around, at least where I live in the Philadelphia area. We're looking at right around $3 and I don't know, 35, 40 cents, somewhere in that neighborhood. I haven't been out. It's too stinking cold. I mean, this is like the frozen tundra out here, and we're supposed to get more single digits all week next week and snow tomorrow again. But anyway, so gasoline prices, right now the national average is $3.28. I wish that was the case where I live, but some are predicting the gas price is going to go up. They're primarily citing it's not an issue with crude. It's not an issue with the cost of crude. It's not an issue with the supply of crude oil. The real issue is refinery capacity. And listen, somebody's got to get on the stick here. I don't know if it's going to be venture capitalist or what, but somebody's got to get on the stick. I don't care if we got to go to remote areas of Texas and into away from the coast, if that's what it takes. But we need refineries. We need refinery capacity. If we could ever pick up refinery capacity in this country, and maybe what it is, maybe what we need to do is a number of small plants not these huge mega plants like we have here in Philadelphia along our Delaware River, not those kinds of plants, but something smaller like we're seeing now out throughout the Midwest. And maybe we need a number of those so we can get some refinery capacity. And that's the only thing that's going to drive gasoline prices down and keep them down, because that's what we need to do. Not to mention the refineries create thousands of permanent jobs, permanent full-time jobs. So that has got to be a part, it ought to be a part of the economic plan of this country. But if we're going to have an energy revolution and we, the consumer, is going to reap the benefits, and if we, the consumer, if we, the consumer, reaps the benefit, that means that obviously the economy is going to reap the benefit, because that is going to free up discretionary income, which I believe is one of the biggest problems we have right now in the markets. 866-300-9298. Moody, one of the rating agencies, has slashed basically the outlook for insurers as far as the rating. They have moved the entire health insurance sector to negative. Now, it was at a stable rating. They moved the entire sector to negative. They are stating, of course, Obama, or they say the rollout of President Obama's health care law. There's far too much uncertainty. There is going to continue to be tightening in hospitals, medical organizations around the country as a result of it. Reimbursements are going to be down, both by the insurance company and by the government. It looks like, you'll see this in my newsletter, I sent out the Gallup poll saying that there are fewer people uninsured today than there were last year. And of course, that would make those that are pro-Obamacare very happy. Here's the problem. Before you get excited about the headline, of course it's down when we have seen this dramatic increase in the amount of people going on Medicaid. They were uninsured, couldn't even qualify for Medicaid, and now they're moving over to Medicaid. So they're insured under our tax-paying dollars, and another entitlement program expanding and ballooning, and that is likely to continue throughout the year. That's not good news. It's not good news. It's good. I'm glad some of those are being able to get on those rolls, and I would imagine that some of them deserve to be there. But the fact of the matter is, don't put out these headline numbers, hang your hat on them. Well, the uninsured is going down. It's working. It's not working. It'll be working when we start to see the healthy young people that have been uninsured, that don't want to be uninsured, start to get insurance through the private sector, not through the government. So that's a bit of a joke. 866-300-9298. We're going to get to the calls in the next segment. Cue it up. I already mentioned the Dow was down 175 yesterday. The NASDAQ down 25. The S&P down 16. Not good news. And it looks like we're going to have more of that negativity on the open today. 866-300-9298. It looks like House conservatives, according to a Breitbart report coming out this morning, that House conservatives plot, these would be the Tea Party conservatives, plot a takedown of GOP leaders in reference to the amnesty plans that they are putting through. In other words, they're not going to go along with the royalty of the Republican Party, the establishment of the Republican Party. Look, here's the deal on the immigration bill. It's probably going to get passed. I don't know if they're going to win that battle, but it's got to take a Mitch McConnell in particular, who is in a battle for his seat in Kentucky, and John Boehner, who should be in a battle for his seat in Ohio primaries. But, it's got to give them pause every time this happens. Well, the reason why it gives them pause is because they understand that the majority of Republican voters are on the side of the Tea Party. They're not on the side of the spineless royalty of the Republican Party. It's got to give them pause. And if it gives them pause, the problem with that is it gives us confirmation that they understand that they're on the wrong side of the issues, but they just don't care. And that's more frustrating than anything. 866-300-9298. So anyway, I was talking about oil a little bit ago, and Uganda, after a 3-year trial trying to do this, has agreed to an oil development deal with the UK, France, and China, CNEC, China Oil Company. So this is going to be plans that's going to consist of about a 60,000 barrel a day refining capacity and crude export pipeline from Uganda to Kenya. So I only bring that up because this is very good for China. It's good news for China. Uganda supposedly has the 4th largest oil reserves in the continent. So that should be very interesting. They all came to a preliminary agreement. So that's going to get some oil flowing into China. May or may not be good for Europe. It's certainly going to be good for the economy of Uganda, obviously creating a lot of jobs. Along with this is going to be a crude oil-fired power plant in Uganda. I guess they don't have an EPA in Uganda. Can you imagine a crude oil power plant here in America? That's fine. We can't even burn clean coal, let alone crude oil. But nevertheless, that's part of those plans. Very, very interesting. Apparently, some of the new banking regulations in the Eurozone are creating a little bit of a holding back, putting a lid, so to speak, on the markets, on the growth markets and the rally in the Eurozone. So there has been a decline in bank lending, not to mention a record unemployment. And of course, that is a huge issue for growth in the Eurozone. Going to slow it down considerably. So very interesting. Last night, I had a few hundred people on my conference call. We did a little bit of a strategy session. I talked a little bit about my strategy, why it is what it is, and the website, financialissues.org, with the partners. It was a great session. And I sure appreciate everybody that tuned in and became a part of that. That was great stuff. We are going to get to the calls right after this break, 866-300-9298, 866-300-9298. Now's a good time to tune in to get your call. We have seen a dramatic, things as far as the emails that I've been getting and the questions that I've had to try to answer have been down because people are getting their questions answered. We're going to continue that trend here every day on Financial Issues. 866-300-9298. Cue your call up. We're going to get to calls right after this break. Financial Issues. I'm Dan Celia coming from the tundra here in Philadelphia. It is cold. And from what I'm looking at, it's very cold where you are. So pick the phone up, make a call, ask your question, continue listening. We'll be right back after this.